Hello. 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 Welcome to the Penguins Collective Podcast. My name is Louie.
My name is Josh.
Oh, and we're two brothers who love to talk about hockey.
Especially the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, what a doozy of the last couple of days since we last saw you. Not only did we have a massively long episode, that's right, but a lot of things have happened. And it all starts with Kyle Dubas addressing the media on Wednesday, yesterday. Mm-hmm. What a wild 48 hours for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It starts off with Kyle Dubas meeting the media at 2 p.m. Now, Wi-Fi was down at the arena, but that did not stop them. They did still have the meeting. They started off by asking the hard questions. Are you happy with the season so far, Kyle? That's what they started asking. And I was like, is that really what we're asking this guy? But he answered him. He said, I don't like what we're doing. Jake Gensel, gone. He's at. And then he did say that, Josh. He did. And then today, Colin White got put on waivers, claimed by the Montreal Canadiens. In fact, he played for the Montreal Canadiens today. What a wild scene that was. Game played on Tuesday. Now he's on Montreal on Thursday. Wow. And then during the first period, the Pittsburgh Penguins made a trade. Correct? First period? First period.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Penguins made a trade. It's official. The first trade of the new dynasty that Kyle Dubas is not happy with. He said, guess what? I'm going to make some changes, and here's the changes that he made. He said, and I quote, and I lost the photo, but I got it now because guess what? I am a master of media. Holy cow.
Are you sure about that?
Holy cow, dude.
You want me to get it? I got it.
No, I have it.
I have it.
I got it. Alex Nylander and a conditional 2026 sixth-round draft pick for Emil Bemstrom from the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Blockbuster, ladies and gentlemen. Blockbuster. That happened in the first period. That was the only interesting thing that happened into the first period. The second period, great. Third period, all right. And we win the game and we beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-1. Thank you for joining this episode of TPC. Hello, Josiah. Hello, everyone who is joining us on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure you join the chat wherever you're at, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We want to hear from you. Penguins beat the Habs 4-1. Is this the snowball effect we've been looking for the Penguins to make the playoffs? Josh, how do you feel about tonight's game?
A lot to unpack there. We're going to work it backwards, all right?
We are.
To recap what Louie was doing.
No. First talk about the game, and then we'll unpack everything.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to work backwards. We're going to cover the game, and then we'll do the trade, and then we'll do the press conference. Okay? Also, so a little behind the scenes here. What I usually have here at the desk is one of those like inflatable balls, those like yoga balls. That's what I sit on here.
I did not know that. Do you really?
Last episode, it was super deflated. That's why I was super short. So I pumped it yesterday, and now it's like so full. Look how high up I am on my camera. Like my camera doesn't change. Like this is just ridiculous, and I can't get over it right now, and I can't let air out. It's a whole process, but whatever.
How about I match you in
there we
the
go.
height?
Yeah, match the height.
So that way,
yeah, there we go. Yeah. I like.
All I could think of and all I want to do is like Jim in The Office go up to you like you're Dwight,
bam. Yeah,
and pop it. Anyway, continue.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Back to
enough about your balls, Josh. Let's continue with the show.
Back to the game tonight. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, it's the type of game where it's like you have this roller coaster. Last game was a roller coaster where we ended up on the losing side. This time we won. Like you said, the first period left a lot to be desired. Didn't like the way we played coming out. I thought for sure after losing the way we did on Tuesday and then Dubas's press conference Wednesday, I thought we would have come out with a little bit more energy. Still looked old and slow as usual. So I don't know why I keep expecting anything different. Definition of insane, but
Insanity.
whatever.
Yeah.
But second period, things started rolling. I mean, well, before we get to the second period, we got to talk about Letang's redemption. So Letang, he gave up that first goal by giving up that super stupid turnover,
Really bad.
probably the worst of the season so far, we'll just say. And then Matheson scored. So former Penguin scores on the. Did you just comment in the? Okay.
Yeah, Josh, bring attention to it. Just want to make sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep on going,
Okay.
Josh. Keep on going. And I'm the one with ADD, right? I'm the one with
I'll
ADD.
hide the chat. I'll hide the chat.
Keep on doing what you need to do.
So the Matheson scores off of Letang's turnover, former Penguin, and then
Yes.
a few minutes later, Matheson turns it over to Letang. Well, not directly to Letang, but Matheson turns it over. Letang scores. So all is right in the world at the end of the first period. Essentially, we start a new game, 1-1, going into the second. And, I mean, that's really where we won the game. We had the energy, we had the momentum, we had everything that I thought we were going to come out with in the first period. We had in the second period. We got a power play goal. That's cool. And it was like, I forget how long it took, but it was like 10 seconds into the power play. The goal actually came through. So that was sweet. And honestly, I just thought that we played really well in the second period to the point where that is the type of team that can make the playoffs. Now, everyone was raving about how pessimistic I was last episode. So I'm going to try and carry it over here. And that's what I have to say about the third. I love the way we played in the second. I wanted to see them continue that into the third, but they completely, again, played on their heels, played conservative, defend the lead. That's not how we're going to win against the elite teams in the NHL. We need to keep playing. If we have the energy, we have the speed, we have the momentum in the second period, keep it going into third. Why constantly just rely on Jari, who is playing lights out tonight, but have to have him make those phenomenal saves into third because we're just hanging back. I don't like it. It's not something that I want to see going forward if we are going to make this playoff push, even though I don't think we're going to get there, especially since we got a point on Tuesday and it didn't matter. We're still like 10 points behind from making any type of, playoff spot in reality. I know technically by math, it's like 8 and then it's shorter with games in hand, but I just don't think you can't. My issue with the games in hand now is the fact that you can't rely on those being wins. I used to think, hey, games in hand, we're good to go. But the thing is, you can't count on those as wins. So that's my thing about the third. I just wish we played with a little bit more of the momentum and the energy that we had in the second. But Jari,
of course,
saved us, saved our butts again. Took too many penalties in the third. It's just, it was typical Penguins, in the third. Brian nails it. This is exactly how I feel.
So Brian in the chat comes in and says, even if they keep this up, it may be a little too late. What a game by Jari, though. Absolutely. Yeah. And to what Josh is saying, there needs to be a little more urgency. And I think Mike Sullivan said it in his press conference. Dubas said it in his press conference, which we'll get into next, is the Penguins need to have more urgency here. I don't think there's and we could look at all the signs on whose fault it is and whose not fault it is. But overall, the Penguins need to have urgency. If better late than never. So yeah, maybe a little too late, but I'll take it. If there's some urgency that we need to kind of get going, let it happen now. Let it happen now. But Jari's playing good. That's great. Yeah. And I do agree with that. He was making some lights.
Lights
out. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes and no. But
all right. Well, he's making some crazy saves. And he kept us in a lot. Not only that, Pettersson played a lot better too, and there's some standout Colin White. Drew O'Connor playing phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah, the broadcast made it apparent he's on a 3-game goal streak. That's great. I'm glad to see some technically top 6 doing some good work here. I was going to say bottom 6, but he's been playing on the second line, and rightfully so because he's been producing. So moving forward, we got to have a little more urgency, but great win by the Penguins. This could be a catalyst for a late push, okay? Josh doesn't think we're going to make it. I'm the positive one here today. I think we have what it takes. Now, who knows who the heck this Elam
if that's what you want to get into, I actually
Emil Bemstrom.
I got some stuff for you. So
okay, sure. Do you want to go into that? Then go into press conference, conference, and trade. All right. So the trade.
Yeah.
You want to go trade next?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So the trade that happened today in the first period, Alex Nylander, who's currently in Wilkes-Barre Scranton, got traded with a conditional 2026. You heard that right. Not a conditional 2025. Not a conditional 2024. It's a conditional 2026. So like a made up trade, in the 6th round draft pick for Emil Bemstrom, a forward from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, I missed the first half of I'll say the first period. Technically, I'll miss the first period. And then I get a text by Josh saying, trade alert. He's like, trade. Something happened. I'll post it now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. This is the trade we've been looking for. And, man, I got something going on. This is the trade we've been looking for. And then it turns out to be a guy I've never heard of. And I'm like, is this good? Because we gave up more. So this guy has to be like NHL ready, right? So Josh, who is this guy? Is he good? Was this a good deal by Dubas? Should we start going on a rant that we should trust in Dubas again? What is going on? Who is Emil Bemstrom?
Yeah, so a few things just to touch on the trade even further. The condition has been released for the draft pick. So it's a 6th round draft pick. Louie's right, in the 2026 year draft. However, if this Bemstrom stays in the NHL and scores 6 goals for Pittsburgh, then that turns into a 3rd round draft pick.
In 2026.
In 2026, yes. But that jumps up 3 rounds, which is crazy.
It is crazy, but not really.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the jump is crazy. If the guy can score 6 goals,
he might not even be on the bet. Penguins in 2 years.
It's a safe bet. No. It's just got to be this year that he scores. Has nothing to do with
No, I know, but they
Yeah.
still receive a 2026 round,
Sure. Yeah, but I don't
2026 year draft pick.
I don't think his roster spot on the Penguins in 2026 matters. But
Correct. Go ahead. Sorry.
regardless,
Continue.
the reason why they had to attach a draft pick anyway is because this guy is an NHL caliber player, albeit fourth liner. He has been on Columbus for 30-something games. I think it was 38. He started the season in the AHL, then came up, but he only has a one-way. So if we option him back down to the to AHL again, he's going to have to clear waivers, which I don't think Dubas is going to do. I think he's going to be, like the Colin White, the guy who's just going to be a scratch or put into the lineup, type role. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Pusin gets sent back down so that this Bemstrom can play, especially with Noel Chari now back healthy and who's the other guy who we're waiting on, who's hurt?
Jake Gensel.
No, there's another guy, fourth liner. Oh my word!
Noel Chari,
whatever.
Who else is hurt?
There's someone else who's hurt. Look it up for me. However,
I'm going.
The thing that is being circulated around Twitter right now about Emil Bemstrom's game is threefold. One, he's 24 years old, so he's young. We're going to talk about it in his Matt Nieto. Thanks, NES.
He was quicker.
Sorry, he's young, just like Dubas wanted in terms of what he mentioned in his press conference yesterday. Two, he's fast. We know that's the way Sullivan likes the players.
Loves it.
Loves speed. And number three,
and swagger.
He's not shy about getting in front of the net.
Oh, that's a guy. That's a guy we like. Fast and not afraid to get his head knocked off. Love it.
What we've been looking for.
That's the Penguins' identity we need right now.
Yeah. So I'm not saying this guy's gonna, go out there and start being the guy that we need, the missing piece in order for this push to happen and to make the playoffs. But I'm just saying, even though we don't know the name, there's, some reports out there that he may be a reliable piece of what we're looking for. We've been saying it for how many months? Even last year, we were saying it. We need that guy who will be willing to go down front.
That's true.
And if this is him, great. Now we can build around that. And
not around him, but around that idea.
But
that concept.
Yeah, that idea. Exactly. Yeah. And then, build out from there. So we'll see what happens, if he plays on.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, if he plays, it will most likely be on the fourth line, probably opposite Harkins with Noel Chari. Because honestly, I even though Big Jeff Carter's having a good year, I just don't see him constantly being in the lineup. But
whoa,
we'll
big. Well, speaking of the whole entire mentality, with that, Colin White got sent down this morning. So clearly, they were making moves, clearing roster space for this trade. Okay.
I don't know, no, because I think putting Colin White on waivers was actually for Noel Chari, because this is Noel Chari back after being on injured reserve.
Right. Yeah, that's probably maybe. I'm just saying. I think there was a lot of moving parts today in the office of Kyle Dubas. Hey, this guy's coming back. Okay, we got to release him. Is that Columbus on the line? okay, we'll work out a deal. So I feel like there's a lot going on for him
And
today.
Hellberg was sent back down.
And which we were like, what's going on there? But Hellberg got sent down, which he has a 2-way, so that's no problem.
Yeah.
And then we saw Colin White on waivers, and we were like, okay, going down to Wilkes-Barre, no problem. Then all of a sudden, hey, I'm fast on that today. I saw Elliot Friedman, who reports these things, and it said Colin White claimed by Montreal. And I was the first one to go, boom. We lost Colin White. Now, someone made fun of me on the chat on Twitter. They said lost, as in like.
I think it was Brian.
It was Brian. He was like, lost? No, I think it was Brett. I think his name was Brett or something.
Oh, Brett. And I remember it being a B, yeah.
And he was like, haha, lost. And I was like, all right, that's fair. It's not like it was a heartbreak. You got me there. But no, I think it was hey, it sucks whenever someone steals your guy. I no matter who it is, you're always like, don't take him. Don't like, hey, he's supposed to go to Wilkes-Barre, buddy. Don't take him. And he literally he didn't leave Pittsburgh. He got picked up by Montreal, and instead of reporting to the home locker room, he went to the away locker room, and he got dressed, and he came out skating, and it was a nice little thing.
He did the optional skate this morning.
For Pittsburgh.
For Pittsburgh.
How awkward is that? Hey, dude, I know you're going down to Wilkes-Barre, but yeah, I'll skate, dude. I'll take all the help I can get. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, Colin. Montreal, they claimed you. The coach actually wants to talk to you. Like, he's in the other room if you wanted to go say hi. Or what is that conversation like?
One thing that when I saw it, I immediately thought, what if we weren't playing Montreal tonight? What if we were playing, like, I don't know, pick a random team, Minnesota
Columbus.
Wild.
All right. Well,
yeah, Minnesota Wild. Would Minnesota have claimed him just because, like, they were there? Do you really think Montreal actually wanted this guy?
No, I think they honestly wanted him, and they were just like, "This is a weird coinky dink," Like,
I don't know. I think it was because we were playing them.
Montreal put some guys on waivers as well today.
Yeah, because they claimed someone. They had
no. That was before they claimed.
Oh wow. Oh, okay.
So they put someone on waivers because when Elliot Friedman does it, he does a rapid fire. So he was like, Colin White, Pitt waivers, someone on Montreal waivers, and then it was Montreal claimed Pitt. So I think it was just hey, he's here, let's grab him. I'm sure that was a selling point. I don't think it was, like, oh, who should we get? Well, Colin White just became available, and he's, like, in Pittsburgh. Like, he can play tonight. All right, get Colin. Like, hey, dress him. Let's do it. So maybe that's what it is, but there are things going on, and I want to get back to that point. So Kyle Dubas is making things happen, sending Colin White down. People weren't happy with Colin White's performance. I get that. Send him down. Understood. But obviously had a one-way contract. He had to go through waivers and got picked up. Okay, that's fine. We lost the guy for free. We don't like that. That's fine, though. Then he made a trade. Okay, he's getting an NHL regular who likes to go in front of the net, who's fast. Love that. Hopefully he works out here because he's not working out in Columbus because Columbus sucked. So he's finding a home here. Great. Good job, Kyle Dubas. He's not done. So I wanted to talk about the trade, talk about the Colin White situation. I know we talked more about the Colin White situation than the trade. Josh has some great insight on that. But it all started on Wednesday, 2 o'clock, when Kyle Dubas addressed the media, where everyone was hoping for coach changes. There was a rumor before Kyle Dubas approached the media that there is a fire sale for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That everyone except for Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang are untouchable. Sorry. Everyone but those three are touchable. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Not everyone but those. Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang are not for sale. So that was the rumor going into the meeting, the press conference. He comes out to let's give all the credit to Josh. He was right on literally what everything was going to happen. Kyle Dubas is going to fall on the sword, is what Josh said. And then also he said nothing is happening, like absolutely nothing. And once again, nothing happened. There's no coaching changes. In fact, Kyle Dubas doubled down on Mike Sullivan. Said, this dude can win a cup. He's already done it twice. He's the coach of the Penguins.
He almost committed to him for next year.
Yeah, he almost committed him. He almost signed him to a 12-year deal. I don't know. He was like, this guy has a history of winning and continues to do so. And I believe that he can lead them to a whole new team. So, I talk to Mike every single day. We're best pals. I think he is the best coach. So I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said that. So which I love, because Mike Sullivan doesn't deserve to go anywhere. He will, in fact, be the head coach next season. But he states nothing's going to change. He doesn't like the team, and that's partially his fault. And it's as his quote, it's low-hanging fruit to attack the coaching staff, is what he said. The low-hanging fruit is a direct quote. And he's saying it's easy to just attack Mike Sullivan and all that, but that's not just the problem. The players are kind of sucking too. The players are sucking. He takes responsibility, he said. And then he kind of hinted at the biggest question, the elephant in the room, Jake Ensel. Someone said, is like Jake gone or something? Or what are we doing there? His response was, we got to find the best return for Jake Ensel. Flat out said, yeah, he's open. Hey, if you want to trade Jake Ensel, I'm your guy to trade Jake Ensel. What do you got? Which sent the Twitterverse spiraling into hypothetical trades for Jake Ensel. Okay? He did not deny that he is trading Jake Ensel. I think it's very evident that he is, in fact, trading Jake Ensel. That is the biggest news from that press conference. Besides, one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in a press conference is him thinking it's over and then coming back, which I thought was so good.
Yeah,
because
but also that's on the media person, because the media person was like, one more, and then the person asked that question. So then Dubas thought it was over, and then someone wanted to ask another question, and Dubas was like, "Oh, okay, sure, I'll answer."
No. I think what it was is she said one more, and then he looked around thinking there wasn't any. And then he said, "Oh, okay, we're done."
The one more came before the question before that.
Either way, it's no one's fault. I just thought it was funny that he was like, "Are we done?" Okay, and then the mic cut out because at the end of the press conference, and then he walked off and he goes, "Oh, no, hey, you got a question? What's that question?" And then he proceeded to talk about that question for another 5 minutes.
And then there was two. I think there was two more questions after that.
So I thought that was funny. But the biggest thing that came from that press conference was him not confirming or denying that he is trading Jake Ensel. He basically said, we got to find the right return for him. And he's kind of gone, but like, how do we make the best of it?
Yeah. I thought the press conference was exactly how I thought it was going to go. He's going to say a
We
whole lot
know.
of nothing. He's going to say a whole lot of nothing, and we're not going to get any answers. The one thing that I thought was very interesting was that you kind of saw a little bit like a peek behind the curtain of what him and Sullivan wanted for this team for this year. And in that he was explaining how he wanted to be top heavy. He wanted to have the goal scorers on the first two lines and have the
Mm-hmm.
bottom six
Mm-hmm.
be heavily defensive. So that way, and also have our power play high power. So that way, goal scoring comes from line one, line two, and power play. And then the third and fourth line will just carry us into the victory.
Yeah.
And in theory, I get what he's doing. And I like after I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense with who's there in the bottom six. Noel Chari, Matt Nieto, Jeff Carter,
Harkins.
like Harkins now, but I think in the beginning of the season it was someone
Oh,
else down
sorry.
there.
Sorry. I
Yeah.
didn't
But
catch that. Go ahead.
but I mean like who we started the season with down there, like it made sense who was there. So
Agreed.
I get what he was doing. It's unfortunate that it didn't work because I think that could work, especially with our team. Like, like
You're not
because
wrong.
like again, those players fit that bill. Like it's not like he misprojected those players. And like I get what he's saying by trying to take the blame there, but I mean that's exactly what those players do. It's just at the
Right?
same time like you weren't expecting the power play to be absolutely god awful. Like there is no excuse for that, and I
Well, I
don't
mean,
understand.
he stated that in the press conference.
Yeah,
He was like, let's call it what it is. I think is exactly how he responded about the
yeah,
power play. It's like, it's not good. Like,
yep,
so I, yeah, he expected the power play to be good with Sidney Crosby, Eric Carlson, Chris Letang, and Evgeny Malkin. Yeah, you can't blame the guy to think that's going to be a good power play.
yeah, and that's exactly what he said. And he said, if the power play was able to perform at, I think he even said a middle of the road, caliber, we'd be
Mm-hmm.
in a different, situation than where we are now. And I think that's exactly right because even if we are middle of the road, the whole offensive power, first two lines, defensive bottom six makes sense because even if you just look at the goals right now, that's exactly what you see. It's
Yeah.
it's what everyone is complaining about. Our bottom six is trash. We have no offensive scoring, blah blah blah, in the bottom six. But that's not what this team was designed to do now. Like now knowing it's like we wasted our breath complaining about that because that's not what we were ever going to get. Ever. We were never going to get offensive power from the bottom six. They were literally designed to just hold our lead. That's it. Just be defensive, allow
Mm-hmm.
to be on the ice for 45-second shifts so that the first two lines can get good rest, come out ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when our power play isn't able to produce during the multiple opportunities that they're given each and every game, it hinders that vision that you have for all four lines. And it also explains why Sullivan is changing the lines so many times because now he can't afford to have two high powered lines and two defensive lines. He's got to have 3 and 1. And now how do you spread that out? Like, drop Riley Smith down to the third. O'Connor comes up to the second and all that stuff. So I mean, I don't know. It opened my eyes a little bit to like understanding how this team was orchestrated. It makes sense, and I don't know, it'll be interesting, but at the same time we also learned that he's not going to give up draft capital.
Yeah.
So I
With the
doubt we are
little that we
buyers.
have, is that what he said? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be buyers, or I don't think we'll be sellers. I honestly think the only trade that Kyle Dubas makes is a Jake Gensel trade, and I think
Yeah,
that's
that would
the only that. And I don't think that's not regarded as a buy or a seller trade,
that's where I
depending on.
disagree.
I don't, because if we get a good enough return, it's not a buy or a sell. So it's kind of, I think it goes to show that Gensel even willing to negotiate. He's not willing to take less than what he wants. And I almost think that makes the writing on the wall, saying he wants over 10 mil. He wants over 10 mil a year, and we can't offer that. So he knows that. And I think that's the reason why Dubas publicly said, yeah, we're trying to get a good return for him. The reason why is because he's not willing to negotiate. He's not willing to take a hometown discount, because if he was willing to take a hometown discount, we'd already re-sign him.
Mm.
We would have already re-signed him. He doesn't want to. Okay, we'll find a good trade. I don't think that's a buy nor sell. I think that's something to help with the future. As Brian literally just put in the chat here, he said that's 5 million off the books.
He's referencing his comment prior about trying to trade Smith.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Get rid of Smith too.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about that, but I'm sure we would save more than 5 million with Jake Gensel as well. Well, I should say what we would have spent on Jake Gensel we're saving, so technically. But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't scratch what I just said. I think it's not a buy nor sell. I think it's just something that works for the Penguins, very similar to what this trade was today. Was this a buy or a sell? No, I think it was a lateral move, which I think is a great call, because we're looking for more of a consistent bottom sixer, and Alex Nylander just never found that consistency. So we actually gained a more bottom sixer than Alex Nylander. So we moved to lateral. We didn't give a lot, nor did we gain a lot. It was lateral. So I wouldn't consider this to be a buy or sell. This is more of a lateral move, which is what I think we will get for Jake Gensel. I don't think it'll be like a 1-for-1. I think we'll get some draft picks. I think we'll get some a guy who could play with Sidney Crosby, which is, let's be honest, anyone. So I like, seriously, I like, we're just trying to find a goal scorer that can be with Sid. There are a lot of them out there. It's just a matter of which one is going to fit in with a package for Jake Gensel.
Yeah.
So
And that's,
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. And that's where I guess I need to see what the return is for Gensel, because if we do get players that are plug in ready to go, then yeah, it's a lateral move. But if we end up just getting draft picks and young players,
Then it's a
then
sell.
realistically, that's a sell. Yeah, exactly right.
I get that.
So,
I get that. I think there's going to be at least one person in the draft package that we get for Jake Gensel that's plug and ready. And hey, listen, O'Connor is proving himself. He keeps this up, he'll find his way on the first line, no problem. I could see him contributing a lot on the first line with Sid and Rust. But we can also gain another person for that first line within that package with any team. Now, to Brian's point, let's say we make a trade with Riley Smith. Wonder if we get a lateral move on there. We're not making changes to the point of selling. We're just getting a guy who could play on the second line, who can play with Malkin. You know, that's a lateral move to me, and it makes Smith happy because he hates it here. So I wouldn't say what he's doing right now is buying or selling. I think it's strategic. So yes, if all we get for Jake Ensel is draft picks and let's say like a prospect, yeah, that's for the future. That's a sell. But I don't think that's all. I think we're gonna get something to try to make a little bit of a push, and maybe Smith goes too, and Graves goes, and maybe we send a package and we get a package. Who knows? We can make a blockbuster deal. I don't know. There was rumors that Penguins are looking to shop Eric Carlson. So there's rumors there. There's people that said that the Ottawa Senators have been kicking tires on Eric Carlson to get him back. So
I don't think
there's
so, because at the end of the press conference, they asked him to define the core, and
no, and he said Eric. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I am not telling you what I once again, this is what I hope, what I think situation. I hope that's not true. And I don't think that's true either. I'm just saying there's things that I hear on Twitter that there's people, I think they said it on a TV during like a TSN thing, is that they were saying that he can't get out of his head that Eric Carlson and Ottawa Senators would love to reconnect. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're trading Eric Carlson after half a year of having him.
yeah,
I don't think that's the case. You need to give that time to marinate and let him settle down here to make him a little more effective. So there's a lot of directions that we could go in this upcoming trade deadline.
yeah. Can I
And
just say one thing? Um, on Twitter, I think it's NHL Pens. He's a good follow. I
he's
think
a good
it's
follow.
NHL Pens.
Shot at,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, he put out a Twitter poll. He said this is not Gensel related, but it
Was
looks
like,
pretty Gensel related. It said,
why?
"Would you rather be top 5 to 10 in the NHL and make it uh, make it into the playoffs and earn approximately $6 million, or would you like to be on a bottom team and make upwards to $10 million?" And
I
like
don't
the
see that. I don't
poll,
see that poll.
oh, maybe it's not him then. Maybe it wasn't him. I apologize. But there was a Penguins guy who I
Sorry.
follow. If it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
NHL Pens, then I apologize. Um,
It's fine.
but
Shout out
I
to
thought
NHL Pens.
I thought it was a good question and
Repeat the
overwhelming.
question one more time.
So, would you rather be top 5 to 10 team in the NHL and consistently make the playoffs while only earning approximately $6 million, or would you be okay being at the bottom of the league and earning upwards to $10 million? And he prefaced it by saying, "FYI, this has nothing to do with Gensel." And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're structuring those two questions exactly like the Gensel
Shea
situation.
Kensel's situation. Well, I think
So,
that was his way of being tongue in cheek. Like, oh, this
yeah,
isn't Jake Kessler related. Um, yeah, honestly, I mean, it's easy to say the first option when you're not making that much money.
yeah,
Um,
no, that's so true. It's,
so like, I'd be like, yeah, I'd take less money. Are you
yeah,
talking about
yeah, $6 million.
$6 million?
Yeah,
Woo! I
yeah,
make a fraction of $1 million a year. Okay. Um, so the fact that that question is lost on me. I mean, I would if I was playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, the team that I love. Yes, I would take 6,000. I would take 6,000. I would take
okay,
6 mil and be in top 10 and constantly making the playoffs. I think that's worth more because you're constantly winning, you're constantly good, you always have a shot every single year to win the Stanley Cup. And if you're taking the second option, that means the winning the cup isn't that important to you.
Yeah, because what I would say is that the legacy will last longer, because the thing is, if you do have more chances to win the cup and you do win the cup multiple times, at the end of your career, your name isn't, you know, Jake
Remember that
Gensel.
one guy who got
No,
paid a
Jake
lot?
Gensel earned $100 million over 8 years.
Yeah.
It's 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
Correct. Phil Kessel, whenever he is addressed, isn't, that Phil Kessel who hasn't got picked up yet? No, it's, the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Phil Kessel is in Abbotsford training right now. So I would say definitely take the first. Carlson is here for one reason, not to make a lot of money. And
well, he's making a lot of money. He's making
no, I get it.
$12 million.
But he came over to play with Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang for a reason. He believes that they can win a cup. He said it in his presser. He said it in everything. This team can win a cup. But we got a hot week and a half until the end of the trade deadline for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Who knows what Kyle Dubas is cooking in the back? Now, he may have had that interview, and after that interview, all 31 teams gave him a call and said, "Oh, I didn't know Jake Gensel was up for sale. What you got? What do you want for him?" And I'm sure he's cooking deals right now. Clearly, Columbus gave him a call. Now, I'm sure that conversation started with, "Hey, how's Jake Gensel?" And he's like, "Whoa, I'm not giving Jake Gensel up for you. You and your Prospect City over there. I don't want that. What do you got for me?" Let's be more realistic. I watched Moneyball. I watched Draft Day. I know how these GMs work. Remember how does that Moneyball scene go? Where he goes, what about Gonzalez? He goes, "You can't afford Gonzalez. You don't. Come on. Let's be real." And I feel like that's a conversation. Columbus calls Dubas. "What about Jake Gensel?" "You can't afford Jake Gensel. Come on. Let's be real. What do you want?" "All right. What do you want for Alex Nylander?" "Now we're talking." "Okay." "Now we're talking. I'll give you a conditional made-up trick and a draft pick in La La Land, and you give me Emil Bondstrom." I butchered that name. Hold on. Benstrom. Dang it. Emil Benstrom. And he's like, deal. Great. And I think that phone call started off with, "What about Jake Gensel?" And there's so many people calling right now. There's already saying that Jake Gensel is connected to Las Vegas, to Minnesota because he's from there. He's attached to Vancouver. He's attached to. There's so many options for him, and the reason why he's attached to Vegas is because they're discussing a blockbuster deal that includes Riley Smith to return to the Vegas Golden Knights. So it'd be Vegas and Gensel, Smith and Gensel to Vegas for a big old package from Vegas. So who knows what he's cooking? This is something. Now, I get excited and scared at the same time. Because, like I said, I'm one to be very protective of my team. I know Colin White wasn't producing, but when I saw he got picked up by Montreal, I was like, no, I don't like that. Don't take my player. He belongs in Wilkes-Barre. I know he stinks, but he belongs in Wilkes-Barre. Remember, the whole plot is trying to get them to win a Calder Cup. Get Colin White down to Wilkes-Barre. So I still have that protectiveness of my team. I don't want to see anyone get traded, but I care more about a Stanley Cup. I care more about a Stanley Cup than Colin White. No offense to Colin.
Yeah,
I think fair. He would say the same thing. He would say, "I don't care about you, Louie. I care about winning a Stanley Cup." And I say, "Yeah, I get it." So, and I think that's the whole goal. So I'm optimistic. I take this win. I say, hey, this is a great win for the Pittsburgh Penguins, a great confidence boost. Is this a catalyst? The next game the Pittsburgh Penguins play is on Sunday. We have a 2-day break against the Philadelphia Flyers on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Okay? It's an early one. There's no football. Watch the hockey game. Okay? It's a TNT game. I hate when TNT covers it. I hate when anyone but Josh Getzoff speaks. But we're living in this world. We got to watch it on TNT. I know they stink. If you join our Discord, there's some magical links that we put up on Discord that makes you automatically watch the game. So I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying they're magical links. So make sure you join our Discord, the Penguins Collective Discord. Follow us. It's a great time. But it's a Sunday at TNT. I think this is going to be a catalyst. This game tonight, catalyst. We go play Philadelphia Flyers in 2 days. Beat them up. Kick them out of town. And then we're good. Hey, what's up with the negative attitude in the last 2 games? Huh? Why am I the beaming ray of sunshine? No.
Because
that's not what we agreed.
This team hasn't shown me anything that gives me any type of...
Kyle Dubas is on my side. He said he still has hope for this team this year. He said he believes in this team.
Yeah.
Okay? Me and him on the same level. Okay? We have hope in this team, Josh. When we agreed to do this podcast, I said I was usually the negative one stirring the pot. You're the one who's supposed to be positive and neutral. Now you're off the rails, and I have to bring it back together. Pittsburgh Penguins Catalyst. Yeah. Go Pens. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you.
Sorry. It's because there's a delay. I couldn't say it. But can we throw up Brian's comment? Because this is good. Just
which one?
Put it up there. The unrelated one. This is good. 44 years.
You can't tell me. Throw it up. And then this is good. For audio listeners, Brian says, unrelated to the Pens, but today marks 44 years since the Miracle on Ice.
Yes. 1980 U.S. hockey team beating
the Soviets. Soviet Union.
Soviet Union.
Yep. If you are not patriotic, watch either the movie Miracle or just watch the 30-second clip. Okay? When what's his name? He's a massive what is his name? He's an announcer, but he was a young gun when that happened.
Marv Albert?
Nope.
No.
He does like the what is it called? He does oh gosh. He's such a massive
Al Michaels.
Thank you, Josh. Al Michaels. He was so young. He was like 20 when he called that game.
Yeah.
And you watch that clip when it goes like 5, 4, 3.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes. If you're not patriotic when you watch that clip, dude, something's wrong with you.
But I have an issue with Al Michaels. I want to call him out.
All right, call him out.
Because every interview after that, like famous call, he says that was just on the spot. Just thought about it, saying, "Do you believe in miracles?" Call BS. He practiced that.
He's in the mirror going, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. Now, he's not the one who said yes.
It's the
other commentator.
Color commentator, yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. And he's like, "What a moment."
Yeah, I call BS that he just thought of that on the spot.
Well,
no.
Hey, I mean, if Mike Lang could come up with scratch my back with a hacksaw, I mean, yeah, I think he could come up with that.
Those old guys were quick.
Those old guys,
Scully,
Doc Emmerich.
Doc
and
Emmer.
it rang off the pipe. It's just,
Yeah.
I know Doc is getting so old, but man, if I could just listen, if the Stanley Cup just had Doc Emmer, oh, that would be unreal. Unreal. Okay, let's wrap this episode up, Josh, shall we?
Sorry, just want to bring that.
Even though you're the one who said to bring this up. So that's on you. Guys, thank you so much for joining this podcast. Next game, Flyers, Sunday, 3:30 p.m. on TNT. We will be live 10 minutes after the game. We'll go deep dive into it. Will Dubas make some changes in the next couple days? We got Friday, Saturday. Will he make some changes? Who knows? Stay tuned. Guys, I already talked about the Discord, but you can also follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. All the handles are at Pens Collective. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, hit the notification bell when we go live, because we love to see you here. That will do it for this episode. We'll see you in the next one. And Josh, as always,
Let's go Pens.